The following video was pre-recorded on twitch.tv/codedman9000. More information on the stream times at the end of the video. Previously on Stone to Space.
For the start of Chapter 3, we went to Kerbal Space Program to learn how to make rockets so that we could explore the stars for a new home. We began playing on career mode while not knowing anything about what we were doing. After doing some research off-stream, we then moved to the science mode with newfound knowledge. We went to both moons, created communication networks, planes, science missions, a space station, and then ended the game by traveling all the way to Duna in the Antari ship.
After arriving at Duna, our ship the Antares fell apart, causing us to land on Duna and mine its resources so that we could fix the Antari ship. We unlocked various buildings, and also different types of science. After fixing everything but scanners on the ship, we then left the planet behind us as we continued to travel in space. Partially during our space flight, we landed on an asteroid. Over the course of a few hundred cycles, we had mined out the asteroid, converting its resources into various things that we needed in order to keep 24 dupes alive. We made a lot of automated machines to take, cool, or convert items into other items. We then turned on a machine that would allow us to take a dive into the dreams of one of our dupes. After our first Dupe Dream and Vintage Story, we came back to Oxygen Not Included. We then used our rockets to go to different asteroids. We went to a water-filled asteroid, a lava-filled asteroid, and we also went to a frozen asteroid to get our final crop. After going back and forth multiple times from the water and lava asteroids, we made our last and final endgame materials. While doing this, we also finished upgrading our main base, and also found both the Temporal Tear Opener and the Temporal Tear. Hello and welcome to a Twitch Plays Along series called Stone to Space. Today we're in Chapter 3, Space Travel. Today we are playing Timberborn. So anyway, what are we going to call this settlement? Well, of course, we have to call it Shady Acres. Do we want to call it something else? I was thinking maybe Beaver Acres, but I kind of want Shady Acres as the name, so maybe Shady Beaver Acres? Or Shady Acres, as in ownership. Beavers. Shady Acres Beavers. I like that more. We'll do that. Now, I do have this unlocked. We're not going to be changing where we start. We're going to be starting right here. And the first thing I want to do is pause immediately and show you guys the entire map. So our two main water sources are up here in the top left corner. This is a 3-block water source. And then inside this cave is a 5-block water source. So we have a total of 8 water sources going down this river into our main thing. We also have over here somewhere, no? Oh, this is slightly different than last time I played. There was a water source right here with a little creek coming down. Oh, it's been updated. It's right here. So in the newest update, water seeps were added, or it may not be the newest update. Water seeps keep the water level at that height. It never produces more water, so if this is in a lake, it'll never overflow. The water sources that I was showing at the top will make things overflow. Now we do also have bad water. So this bad water source, we'll be closing that off when we get into that science. We're going to ignore this one for a moment. We have this one, which I'm actually going to get into using because I want to turn this into a lush green lake. Or I guess Mulu Lake. We're of course going to go around and grab all the metal from everywhere, all the trees from everywhere. This is going to be our power source during bad tides. So as we can see here, there's an aqueduct that has become broken down. And what I plan on doing is continuing this aqueduct all the way to the edge of the map so that the bad water can just run off the map. But inside the aqueduct, we're going to put a bunch of water wheels, which is a form of power. And I think it's the large water wheel. The compact ones are only 1 block wide. The large ones, which I need science for, is 2 blocks wide. Well, technically 3, because it has that power pole that's now extended from it. But anyway, that's also going to bring the bad water away from our water so that we can use this more. And then another goal is to block off this water about 3 tiles, including where it is here. So 2 tiles on top of this land. And that should raise the water level above this little landmass, but also at the same height as right here. So this goes down about 3 tiles as it goes out of the map. I think 1 tile is right here, the second one's right here, and then of course the third one is where the opening is. So anyway, that's our goal for what the map is going to look like. We are going to need a lot of dynamite because I do plan on dynamiting a lot of this down to make it flat. We might also use a little bit of dirt later on to raise the water level. I'm not too sure. Anyway, welcome in, Regus. It's like saying, human New York City. No, this is New York City's humans. That's what we're doing. Shady Acres beavers. These beavers belong to the city of Shady Acre. So anyway, trying to see how this looks at the beginning of the map, because New York City's human, the new baseball team. I need to see what water level I actually want this all to be at, so I'm gonna pull up pictures that I've taken of the other play file, and it looks like I kept everything this height here. So we're really going to raise the water level up to this river's height, which means that all of this area down here on this lower level, that's going to have to be filled in with dirt up to this height here. Same thing over here. We're going to be filling this in. That I do remember doing, as well as demolishing a bunch of stuff on the outside. But anyway, we need to plan out how we're going to survive. Now, we're going to ignore this button right here, which is the automation for a while. But the first step, of course, is to get some water. We're going to need a deep water pump. We're going to place it right here on the water's edge. Next thing we're going to need to do is, of course, get some food. So we're going to go into food. We're going to grab a scavenger's flag. We're going to make sure that the overlay of all the white or blue lining outline is in range of all the blueberries. And I'm going to put it over here. The small berry plants that do not have berries will grow eventually, and if you don't build within the empty spaces, they will actually expand in that area. And a way to cut them off from expanding where you don't want them to expand is to build path tiles. So I'm actually going to cut them off here, even if we don't end up using all those paths for something well than there. Next thing would be breeding pods. Now, I haven't used iron teeth in a long time, so I don't actually know where they are. Would it be district? No. We're gonna go through all this and find where they are. Because unlike the folk tales, iron teeth need a thing built in order to grow people. Oh, it's in housing. That makes sense. So we have the breeding pod, and then we also have the advanced breeding pod. Breeding pod makes baby beavers that then have to take time to grow up. The advanced breeding pod gives you straight adult beavers right when they come out. We still do have to make barracks and stuff for them, but I'm going to start with just one for right now, because we don't know how much we're going to need. We're also going to need a... that's the wrong tab. We need a farmhouse. We're going to immediately need to put down carrots. Oh, we have kohlrabies. Cassava, soybean, canola, corn, eggplant. Oh, the foods are different. What? The foods are different between the folktales and the iron teeth. Okay, I haven't done this before. So what things are used for like a bread? Is there a way for me to see that? This makes types of oils. This is the water farm building that makes the water food. This makes rations. So you can make rations of eggplant and a type of oil. You can make rations of corn. So that is pretty much our bakery. So we can't just eat corn, from what I'm gathering, and we can't just eat eggplants. Oh, we also have coffee. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's just go with the first thing then. We'll do the kohlrabies. I'm gonna guess that kohlrabies are just eaten right away. And we're gonna do a large amount of area. Now, I'm actually going to cut it... No, we are gonna do this entire area here. And I'm going to delete this and replace it, if I can remember how to do that. Because you can actually rotate where the door is going to be. I forget which one it is. Is it F? G? Oh, that does not what I thought. Apparently when you place it back, it just automatically switches. Okay. We're also going to need a type of storage. We're going to want small water barrels. I'm going to put 2 down. We're going to also need a berry storage, so I'm going to put that right next to the berries. And after that, we also need wood. Probably the most important part of this game is getting wood. Let's go down here. I'm going to put in 2 lumberjack flags. We're also going to need a lumber mill. And a way to get power to the lumber mill, which is going to be started out with, I guess... Do we use compact water wheels or do we use beaver power? Oh, that is a lot different than the running wheel. That takes up more space than I was expecting. I thought I was going to have a 3x1 block thing here. So we're going to move this. We're going to put it up here. We are going to put the power thing right here. Now, I did see that there is a thing for the water wheel, and we do have the power shaft, so we can use water from the running water. But I'm going to not do that for a while. Next step is to tell them they can cut down trees in this area. We also need science. This is probably the most important thing to do at the beginning of the game, is to get someone doing science, because we need to unlock the forester before we run out of trees to cut down. Otherwise, we're going to run out of wood, and then we can't progress because we can't build things without wood. We can't get across the river. So everything goes. Now, what I would really like to do is to put a dam over here, but I think we need to do an emergency dam first and then destroy it later. So we're going to put a dam right here and then allow us to get across using that dam. And then we'll come over here and we'll put a dam over on this edge. Let's do right there. Now, they won't be able to reach this for a while, so I don't have to worry about the priority system. But we are going to start doing priorities after I connect this staircase in, because I want to be able to get up here as quickly as possible as well, so that we can also cut down all of these trees. And of course, we're going to need lumberjack flag. We could also use a storage for the wood. So let's do a large storage right here. That'll probably be the last thing that we need to build, or that we do build. So now we're going to go around and do priorities. Emergency priority is to do water and food. Probably also growing people. Then after that, well, also with that, we want these lumberjack flags. After that, we're going to do food, science. The storages can stay where they are. The production over here can go down. And then we're going to make the dam. We're going to make the dam stay where it is. So let them keep going. We're going to go on fast forward, I mean. I'm going to guess we need some type of wood for this. We do need logs. So let's make sure that this is on a high priority. And it's saying that there's no district connected to it. Do I have this rotated the wrong way? I do, I have them backwards. Get rid of them. Luckily, they don't take anything to build. Rookie mistake. But luckily, it should be built immediately once they go back to doing it. So we do now have food. Bro, 100% radius. Okay, so now they should start taking the wood and either do the breeding pod or the water. Either one is important. After that, we're going to have them be homeless for a while. I should probably point that out. And I want to make sure that these are high priority workplaces. I want them to always be filled. It's going to be a thing that we worry about later on in the game when we have a lot more things going on, but right now, probably doesn't matter to have it as a high priority workplace. So this breeding pod takes water and berries, and then it creates beavers over an amount of time. Apparently it takes a total of 5 before it makes 1 beaver. Right, I am going to place down a few barracks. Now, these barracks hold 10 beavers. So I'm going to immediately just put 2 over here. because that'll also give us space for the next set of beavers that come from the pods. This is going to be low priority, just like the wood supply stuff. We do have a beaver down here. I want this on high priority. And now starting the next day, they will start making water. They shouldn't die of starvation within one day. If they do, we may have to restart. But they should be fine. The people who are the most thirsty will come over and grab water first. I think they need 2 servings of water before they're no longer considered thirsty. It looks like they're definitely taking 2 servings because there's still people that have the icon of hunger. Or thirst, I mean. Why are you not doing anything? Oh, you have full logs. Gotcha. That makes sense. So they made this. I want this at a high priority as well. We need to make that science so that we can get the forester. Now, it's only 30 science, and this makes 1 science per hour. There's 16 hours of workday, so within 2 days, we'll have the forester unlocked. We just have to survive those 2 days. Oh, that's right. Forgot. We also have to set these up to having something in it. You actually have to tell what they want in it, or what you want in them. Okay, I don't think we need 2 people over here anymore. The birch trees only give us 1 piece of wood each, I think. Yeah, they only give us 1 piece of wood. These pine trees give us 2 pieces of wood, and also pine sap later on, which is used for a somewhat end goal thing. This is gonna have to be set up for berries as well. No, I think I need to start getting the dam built by day 7. I don't remember how long the cycles are, but I think the first drought starts at cycle 7, or it's closer to cycle 14, I forget. I remember it being somewhat of a week-long period. We do have more berries over here, which we're going to try and grab. But we need a way over there, and the dam is more important than doing all that. And we do have more trees out here, which do have more wood. I'm going to let them grow until we run out down here. How are we doing? This one's almost done. It looks like they raised the log count too. I don't remember it being 20. I thought it was 12 before. Or maybe that's the folktales amount? I don't know. We also had our 3 babies grow up. We have a 4th one. We have 2 people that don't have jobs, which is great for right now. Because then that means 1 person going here, 1 person going on the wheel. And I just got an achievement for building a dam. We have our first set of food now, so I have to see what we do with the food. I'm gonna guess I can just eat the kohlrabies, but I don't know. I don't know if we have to prepare it at all. Actually, we can look at a beaver. Okay, so everything that says fermented needs a building, but the kohlrabies and mangrove fruits do not need to be changed. Of course, we already found out about the corn rations, eggplant rations, and the algae rations. We also have coffee. All these things give us a +1. Shelter gives us a -3, so with the kohlrabies, we are at a 1 now. Once we have a shelter, they will be at a +7. But we are going to make all of these be full bars if I have anything to do with it. And that is going to extend our working speed, our run speed, and our health. The Earth Repopulator is the thing we're working towards. That's the final goal. That'll be so long in the future. If we can just survive the first drought without having this river dry up, I would be very happy on how we started the game. Then we can start thinking about industrialization in this area. We do have the ability to open the forestry thing. So let's grab the forester. We're going to put the forester up here. Do I want it here or do I want it further down? I think I want it further down like this. Actually, if we go another 2, we can get the very edge of the peninsula of land. So let's go way down here. That does mean that the door's in the way, so let's get rid of that. I will put a path here and hope that the door just magically turns around. It did not. Is it O to rotate it? I know there's a button to do this, I just don't remember what the button is. It's not G, we already knew that. I'm just pressing every letter now. There's a button to rotate it. Oh, I see it. I could have just read. It's right here, chat. It's the one button that I guess I didn't press. I didn't know it was there. Alright, this is somewhat important, so I kind of want that more than this storage. This guy is now empty, has no wood. Now this does require planks. So we do need the industrial thing set up before we can do this. But they can add logs into it right now. This only takes logs, so it takes a lot. That takes logs. We only have 1 dam left to build, and we haven't had the alarm for the drought yet. So I think we're looking good so far. I am going to start getting up to this area now. We'll go down here just so they have more room to expand, if they get a chance to before we cut it all down. Go like that, go like this. Grab some of these. Put 2 there. They only need 4 more pieces of wood in here. That's cassava, soybean. Kohlrabi's down here. Welcome back, Gino. I hope you had fun lurking. There have been no Gen 1 Pokemon yet. Alright, we now have our first dam. So when we have a drought, this water up here will dry up because it's a block taller. But down here will stay completely watered. Unless we pump it out completely. You did a quick TJ run. I don't know what you mean by that. Trader Joe's. Oh, that makes sense. Do we even have one in my area? I know what Trader Joe's is, I just don't know if we have one. Oh, we do! Fairly close to where I'm living right now, too. Wow. Wait, that's not Trader Joe's. Neither is that. Those are just grocery stores. There is a Trader Joe over here, though. Now, I know Trader Joe's is a grocery store in its own sense, but at the same time, the other ones were saying that it was part of the Trader Joe's company, but it wasn't. Okay, so we have 2 people in here. I don't want 2 people in there. We'll be working at half efficiency, which means that we're just going to be working slower, but I want our people for in here if we can avoid having them work somewhere else. They shouldn't be working on these yet. They should be working on this. They did make the storage for the kohlrabi, so now we can hold more. In terms of our water, our pumper has filled in the water. And with them having kohlrabis, they should be choosing to eat the kohlrabis rather than the berries, which are used for our people. We also had 2 people born. Ah! So I should say this, we can rename our beavers. If anyone wants a beaver named after themselves, use the point redeem button for it. Now, I could rename all the beavers the same as our duplicates, because that was the plan at the beginning. So maybe hold off until we have 24. And we'll just start naming our beavers after the duplicates. So we're going to have 5 beavers named Dupe. There's going to be 2 that are unnamed, from what I remember. We have 1 person on the power wheel thing. We have a person here making planks. So soon we should be making the forester. Now this should be at a higher priority than the buildings. So even though they are building this, they should be prioritizing putting the planks in here first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this fill up with 13 planks. And then we're going to let them not use that anymore. They are starting to cut down the large oaks. We do have a wood storage here, which is great because it's closer to the other stuff. Building unstaffed. What is unstaffed? This is. Well, we want you to be on a high priority. And we want you to grow pine trees over here because this is going to be our pine forest later on. I'm going to go all the way to there, I think. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to stop. Because I want to cancel right here. And I want to cancel cutting this entire area. So I'm going to preemptively make trees that have pine sap just grow over here. We're also going to need a way to get in here and a storage bin for tree sap. What is tree sap held in? I would assume that it's a liquid, so it would be in here. That's grease, coffee, canola oil, water, bad water. Is sap not a liquid? I guess it's in here. There it is. It is not a liquid. Okay, and then these large storages, how big are they? They are the 3x3? 3x2? They're definitely a square of a 3x3, but I was going width and height. I think it's 2 blocks tall. The same as the buildings over, yeah, it's 2 blocks tall. So in order for us to have this over here, I also want to not grow this little spot, and then we'll have a path going this way. So no growing in there. This is stuff that we do not have unlocked yet, but hopefully the forester will help us get this going. Later on, we are not going to have things set up the same way. This whole island As you can see, there's a creek that could run through here if we break this stuff open. This whole thing is going to be an island, and we're going to make this all food production. We're also going to make it all one level. Our well-being high score has gone up. We have a building unstaffed. I'm not sure what. Oh, because we don't have enough people. Here comes our first drought. So it is after cycle, or day 14, that we get our first drought. Now the droughts are going to increase in length over time. But for the beginning, it's nothing to worry about. So what should we focus on next? There is a number cruncher. Requires power, but it makes 10 signs per 1 hour, where the one building makes 1 signs per hour. So this one building is 10 times better. I do think it requires beavers, but it's not showing the icon saying it does. So maybe this is different than Folktales, that it only needs power and it just runs consistently. Or constantly. Things we want to probably get to is levees, sluices. We have floodgates, so I'm probably not going to use them. We are going to use impermeable floors and sluices. We're definitely going to need dynamite. We don't have to go into the better storages yet. Housing. We got housing for 20 beavers that we don't have completed yet. We do have a bad water pump to get the bad water. We have a fluid dump to drop off water in other places. Centrifuge to make... I'm forgetting what that's called. I think it's extract from bad water and logs. And we have the bad water discharge, which allows us to either open or close when bad water comes down. We're going to be using this later on to close off all the bad water areas. Speaking of bad water areas, we need a way to get bad water away from us in the future. So in the future, this is all going to become an issue with bad water. So I think if we come over here and we dam this area, water will only come through here. And then we could put a an L here, where we have floodgates letting water out, and then we close them during bad tides. So I think we should start working towards that now. Let's unlock the levees. We have enough science for that. We're going to block this off first. That allows us to get over here, where we're actually going to have all of our housing and our beavers living. We're going to make a cool looking area in here. Gonna take some time. Now we are unfortunately diverting water. Actually, we're not. This isn't opened yet, so as long as we don't overflow this area, we should be fine. But at least with this closed off, when we do have bad water, it won't go in here as much as it will go down here, because there's only one way for it to escape. And if I... Well, there's the drought. We don't have to worry about that too much. If I divert bad water down here... what would happen? So it would hit that, it would hit this, it would go above both of them, which brings this into here. It would overtop that and pretty much go, I don't think, anywhere near the base, or near our living area. I do think we want to destroy this to just let the water leave, the bad water I mean. Because now I think about it, we actually won't be diverting liquids for very long if we tell it to come down here. We will need to break open this spot. Anyway, as you're going to see in a few moments, this whole landmass here is going to dry up with water, or just dry up. This is going to be all the water that we have for a while. My whole plan is to block off all the exits and have the water level rise. So there goes our trees. I didn't think of that ahead of time. So we're gonna want to put some trees down here as well. I'm gonna put a little forester right here. I'm gonna go emergency pine trees down here. Or if we need pine trees for whatever reason. Over here is okay. They shouldn't really die during this drought that's already over. Another thing I want to worry about is having enough workers for the buildings that we have, so I'm going to try not to expand faster than we have beavers. Right now it says we have 3 buildings understaffed, so I'm kind of waiting for us to have enough beavers. I'm also thinking that maybe we don't have enough breeding pods for how many beavers I want right now. We're kind of hovering around the original number. If I just add another one of these. I wonder where that's going to bring us to. Oh, somebody got hurt. Would be well-being right here. Tooth grindstone. The beavers that are cutting down the trees will occasionally break their teeth. We could also do a campfire that would bring more well-being. And a rooftop terrace. We would need ladders to get to for right now. Did it overflow? It did overflow, look at that. Oh, these are smaller than the other side. That's cute. So that's letting all of this get filled in, which ends up going back out here. So nothing really changed there. We do have a higher well-being score. This doesn't have a lot of people yet. This we do want to have more people. Just so we can get another person working in there. You guys are probably needed for now. These guys are more needed up here though. And that's 2 places that don't have beavers. So let's pause this one and hope that they go in one of these, which they did not. Where is... Oh, this is one of them. Okay, we're just going to raise the priority on this. So they left another place to go to there. This is high priority. This is not, but it probably should be. So I'm going to put that on high priority. Okay, we probably need to start thinking about how we're going to get all the way to dynamite. So in landscaping, we have to both unlock dynamite for 600 science and the building. The building requires bad water, so we're going to need a bad water pump from liquid, which is 250. We're almost there. Along with that, we need a new icon. I don't know. Looks like a little nut. I'm going to assume it's part of wood. We definitely need the gears. So I'm going to unlock that because that is the next step in industry. We have the tapper shap, which gives us sap and syrup, which is what I'm going to be putting over here. It's a 2x2 building, is why I left that perfect space. I guess metal workshop? Yes, it is metal. So the metal smith makes simple metal parts from scrap metal. We are going to need to get into metal before we get into dynamite. We do have a tiny bit of scrap here. So if we just build across and... Oh, we already did build across. If we get over here... Put a little lumberjack guy right here. We will connect them in. We'll slowly make our way over to the stand, which will eventually be built. And then this one is not needed. Put somebody in there. We're gonna cut all of these trees. All of these trees. Once they cut this one tree, we can start building the path over to here. We're gonna need to go into paths, and we can get spiral stairs. That's cool. We have to wait 3 hours, and then we can get stairs to get up to this metal scrap, so that's set in the future. Now only 2 hours, 1 hour, and we have it. So put that there. Go like this. Bring this down. And for right now, this is just going to go like that. We do have berries in here. I could, now that I have stairs, give them a reason to swim through this. Which is going to be an issue when we have bad tide, which I do want to work on getting cleared out. This is one tile lower, so we could safely get over here. I'm going to start playing this out, because we don't have a good way of getting in there. We could just build levees. Just so that we can get to that stuff. It's probably the cheapest, safest way to get to these. We do have some trees over here that we'd have to cut through. That's not what I wanted. And I'll just go like this for now. This will allow us to demolish all of these without risking beavers. Once we get rid of that, then we're ready to start doing the bad tide stuff, where we put floodgates. Speaking of which, I should probably get a path into this water, so that we can start doing that. And I could also place that stuff in now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do this shape. These will be replaced with floodgates, so I'm going to need at least one opening. We're going to need to get in here to demolish those, but not before we have floodgates ready. We're going to also need to destroy 3 over on this side. Should I do a total of 8? I don't know. We'll do just 3 for right now. You know, let's do 5. We'll see how that fares with us for a little bit. And I need to get a person up here cutting down wood. We are getting closer to being able to go up here. Looks like 1, maybe 2 trees, and then we can actually start building that dam. They are probably going to start working on the stuff out here, which is fine. It's not going to affect us as much as you might think. We could also demolish this, just to get a little bit more green pushed in here. We are also going to need to unlock floodgates to do this. Now we only need a 1-tile high floodgate. So if we wait until we have 150 science, which we're a third of the way to, we can get floodgates and use them as manual sluices. I want this done first along with that. How far did I put the cut tree command? Not very far. Did I do the cut tree command over here? I did, but I don't think I put a lumberjack in reach of all of them. Well, this one reaches. Now we still have 3 unstaffed buildings. Technically 4 because this one's paused. I'm gonna stop them from cutting where there's not gonna be a tree. We also get more berries if I put a flag over here. I'm just gonna let them grow for the time being. And I guess while we're still waiting for floodgate signs to be ready, we could just go straight over to here and ignore this. We are getting closer over on this side, however. Another thing I like about this game is that the beavers actually do build in whatever you place down first. So no matter what I did after I did these, they should get demolished first. It also looks like they were building this stuff, and then they stopped because they couldn't reach with the path. They have a distance of, I think, 8 blocks away from the nearest path tile that they can walk and build with. Probably going to do this one first. Yep. They do a circle around the flag. And that's the last tree. So you don't have anything to do. I can demolish your thing. That now allows them to come in here and get this. And I'm going to have a ton of fun moving all this bad water out of here, because we're going to end up flooding this area for a tiny bit. And I want to do this before we start raising up the water, because we're just going to be mixing bad water in with our clean water, and that's not good. I should put floodgates over here so that we can use this as a reservoir to pull water from during a drought. That might also be beneficial. We could put levees out here so that the water has to go around, clean water comes out, and then floods back into this space. So that there's no way of us using dirty water. Oh, I didn't put the paths right here. Yes, I did. Why aren't they destroying this? We're going to put this on a high priority because this is one of the last things that we're requiring for this area to be done. Now it is going to flow this way. I should probably stop it from flowing that way. Like continue to pass. Get in here and block off that area. So that the bad water has no choice other than to go to a lower layer and leave. And now they're getting rid of all the stuff. I am keeping a track on our unstaffed amount. I think it actually may be useful to put down another flag out here. How many berries? Actually, we're not using all of our berries. So I might just be okay adding in a third breeding pod. We are going to want close to 100, maybe more than 100 beavers. We are unfortunately going to go through another drought. We're pretty close to unlocking the, why does it say 7 vacancies? Lumberjack doesn't have anyone. Power Wheel doesn't have anyone. Okay, that takes a lot. Forgot that takes 4. 2, 6, 7, 8 beavers are needed. Out of those 8, 5 of them are not an actual use thing yet. All of our pine trees are finally growing out. We're growing in. This feels very slow, but it's on the fastest speed. So while this is going, I'm going to take a couple seconds to go grab a soda from within the room. So we're not going to go into a different scene. Alright, now I'm going to mute for a second while I open the can so you guys aren't getting bombarded by the noise. There we go. Oh, I also guess we should take off the first thing on the to-do list, which is survive the first drought. We already did the first thing on our list. They are pretty close to having this done. We do now have the signs for the one tall floodgate. It does take planks. And I'm just gonna go like that. Now we are in a drought currently. So I think I'll wait to open this up until we are in the wet season again. Which is only in a couple days. It's not too far away. Actually, now we're not wasting anything. So maybe I should do this now. And I'm gonna high prioritize all of this stuff. And then I guess I should put these in right here now, rather than later. How do I get rid of these? That's the button for that, okay. So now, when we have a dry season, they are gonna drain water into here. Every time we have a bad season in the future, which we are preemptively fighting off before it happens, we will have to close these floodgates and open these floodgates. Which is pretty much the same thing as what a sluice will do later on, automated. Now we do have the automation stuff here, which will do the same thing. I can do times a day. We can do stuff on the weather station, which is definitely what we're going to be using probably the most. What's this down here? HTTP lever, HTTP adapter. So long distance automation, maybe? I don't know. We have timers. We have detonators. I'm hoping I don't need that. I'm guessing the detonator would help with making sure that the dynamite only goes off when the beavers aren't nearby. Because you can't kill a beaver if it's walking over a piece of dynamite that explodes. We're almost done up here. They are digging or taking away trees from this side. So they're kind of doing two different areas at the same time. They are also able to grab one tree from over here. So that's another thing that we're worried about. Now this is going to just let water leave the area, which is not good for us. Luckily, we should be in no rush. We are still waiting to get this one tree out of here, which is not grown yet. It's 84% done, a 30-day growth period. What's 30 divided by 80? Or 0.8, I mean. That's not right. Is it times 0.8? It's times 0.8. It's 24 days in. And if I add a 5 to that, 25.5 days. So we have 5 days left before that tree is fully grown. They can cut it down. And that is the last tree, preventing them from doing the dam way over here. They can probably start it now because of this path. Why does it also look like you're not cutting any trees? Are you full? You are full. Okay. We may need to get some haulers. Haulers is a workplace. I'll place that and they can fill that in whenever. Haulers are also a good way of finding out if you have enough beavers, because you can put that on low priority and just check to see if it has people in it. Because you don't necessarily need haulers, they just help things run more quickly and more efficiently. If, do for an example, this water pump, every time they fill up completely with water, they then have to stop what they're doing, take the water out and put it into a storage. A hauler, on the other hand, could come over, take it out and put it into the storage for them, meaning that they can continuously pump water. But it doesn't mean that they can't do it on their own if we have haulers. Or don't have haulers, I mean. It does seem like we're getting closer to having enough people. We are getting closer to not having jobs unused. And I think everyone is full. Meaning none of them should be below... Actually, this one is... We could use a couple more builders in here. Let's put that on a high priority. That's only one person. I'm gonna unpause you. You can get filled in. So now we're back to needing 3 people. This can be slightly high priority, slightly high priority. We will need planks for the floodgates. Now it does seem like we are getting a fast flow rate coming out of here. So we may actually need more than just 5 tiles taken out of here. We might need the entire 8 blocks. So this is what we were expecting to happen before, where it gets stopped by the blockages and then overflows. So it's now going down here. And the other stuff, since we unlocked that blockage, has pushed the bad water out of here a little bit. We're almost done this though, so that's going to dry up pretty soon. Then they should start working on the floodgates, I think. Or they're close enough to this that they're actually starting to build this. Yeah, I am going to lower the priority on this. That's not as important as the floodgates now. These floodgates, however, and the debris behind it are all very important. We have a new high score of 6 on our well-being. We should be able to do a majority of my goal with what we have set up right now. We don't really need metal for a lot of things, just for making the aesthetic changes. And of course, the one of everything is going to require us to make the metal workshop and stuff like that. We don't really need to right now. Now this is going to be at a high 1. They will synchronize once we have them all connected together. Now it says 4 buildings unstaffed, 8 available workplaces. I'm guessing this doesn't count as a building. And it's like a low priority thing on the scale of the game. Right, haulers. I forgot what that was. Okay, once they get rid of all the debris, I'll place in the next floodgate right here. There we go. And we'll also high prioritize this as well. Or I guess medium prioritize. What are we waiting on? Probably planks. We are waiting on planks. Okay, so I think I do need to raise the priority on this. Specifically on here. Or we could just lower the priority of other things. Like, we don't need you here. We really only need one person there. This can be paused because we don't have anyone that's cutting trees in this area. So we can get one person from that. We'll lower that to just being one person. And then, where else do we not have... Oh, this needs to be always being done. Tree is now grown, but there's still not... There's too much wood in there. Too much wood in here. Okay. I really don't want to do this. Let's put that on a high priority. I don't know where it took the person from. I hope it's not somewhere important. I took it from this person. That's fine, but I need this also being filled in. So let's pause this lumberjack. And also make sure that this stays paused. So we should now be going back to filling these in. They do all only need planks, which means that they should be coming back to work on this now. I also did see someone trying to open this up. I can't synchronize that yet, or put it at a specific point yet. We just need one person to look at this, and then it'll be done. Here comes that one person. So now all of the water is going to be diverted into here now. This should drain out eventually. This is going to stay green for a while because there's going to be water stuck there, but everything else should be coming in here. And if we take a look at the side of this, we'll see if this is going to overflow or not. And it looks like it's not, especially if I put this back on to 0. This is staying around the halfway point, which is a tiny bit lower than a dam. Alright, what are these on a priority of? They're just on a regular priority, just like the dam over here. Alright. I am going to pause this lumberjack. No, that's unpause. Pause this lumberjack. I'm going to unpause this one. And I'm going to tell them not to cut anything from up here because I want them to get rid of the trees from the other areas first. This will also give this person a chance to empty out their storage. Oh, they can grab over here. That's why we stowed the forester. Let's put that back on. Let's tell them to stop cutting in here. That way they have to focus on these trees. In a couple seconds, we'll turn the forester off after they do that one tree. Yep. This forester can also be paused for a moment. We now have almost all the floodgates here. We're still at the same spot. We are starting to get a drought, though. How would I get way over here to turn this into... I want this a dam, right? Or do I want that to be blocked off? I think I just want that to be blocked off. And then all of this over here is on the same layer. It's just that's not as tall as this. So if we also... blocked off right there, we could keep all this water in. That's probably why we're not getting an over amount of water on the other area. Okay, I am going to do this. It may not make sense right away. It's also going to get flooded at first, but I am trying to avoid getting the platforms. Although they are cheaper. Yeah, let's unlock the platforms. Want this? We want to cancel all of this. That's not to cancel. Oh, doing all the wrong things. There we go. Cancel all that. We want platforms. Levies. To cut down the tree. Looks good to me. And then we can actually raise this up. Now, it is right now about half. So if I bring that up to half, this should raise up a tiny bit and still continue flowing out. If I go up to 60, we should see it go up another wood, or about half a wood. 70 should be that full thing. And I'm just trying to see where the good spot is for this overflowing. I think that's pretty good for right now. It's 0.5 meters lower than a dam. The dams are 0.75 of a block. Somebody is going to get stuck. I can already see it happening. Somebody's going to get stuck because they're trying to do the top and the bottom at the same time. Maybe they'll be smart enough not to get stuck. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will. Who knows? Anyway, we put levees right there, and we need a way to get all the way over here. Can I just walk across this? No, I cannot. Can, however, get a very close spot that I don't have to build around. Stay there, that should connect. Yep. We are going to just make a zigzag ladder. Now, there used to be a debuff on how far you could build. You'd have to make a new district just so you can reach the same spot. They got rid of that a while ago. So now you can just build as far away from your district center as you want. But the longer distance causes issues in another way. So you could have your beavers end up dying of starvation. Your beaver bots could run out of some type of fuel. I don't know if it's like Oxygen included where long commutes gives them a debuff in like work speed or something. I think Ani gives you a debuff in work speed. Not actually too sure. But all we're trying to do here is reverse this water loop. Right now it's an N in a way, or an arch. We want to make it a U. So we're going to use this to refuel this little area. So we're going to need a little bit of levees, or not levees, floodgates right here, just for us to lower the water. Yeah, we'll do like that. Then I'll just go like this, and they should be able to reach it all. Now, I do want them, however, to do this area more. Now that we're back to it, we could actually just put that on regular priority. We built that first, so they should do it first. And while we're at it, since they cut down everything that I wanted them to cut down, I'm actually going to tell them to cut everything else. First, I'm going to tell them not to cut all that. There's nothing there. Actually, there is one tree. Let's do one extra layer. So I can get the sapling there and the sapling here. That will also allow the berries to grow after we get rid of the stumps. Now we actually don't have any way of this water leaving this area now, so we do have a backlog of water. But this will help us not have bad water stuck in here. This will now be filled in with water during the next wet season. We now don't have the error of not enough workers. We do have 4 job places, but I think it's the 4 people that we closed. Or paused, I mean. This person shouldn't be able to cut anything else. They do have one more place here. Let's turn these all back on, because they're starting to need wood. Fortunately, we have people for them, and we're not getting the error. No, we are getting the error. So that is the hauling post, that's fine. That's this, that's also fine. There's only one tree for them to cut down. Oh, somebody just went in there. Now, when we turn on this building to be prioritized by haulers, they are only going to exclusively remove the water from this. The person in here is not going to remove the water once I click it, the button on here, But we can always turn off priority if we don't have haulers. We are starting to use a lot of berries, which is why I'm letting this grow out as far as it wants to. This area won't grow any further until we move the stumps. I may do that in the future, I may not, I don't know yet. When we get done this dry season, I am going to break this open. Another thing I wanted to do is give them a reason to get wet fur. Let's just do this as a vanity thing. That'll also give them a way to get over when we remove that dam. So now they should be way over here building this dam, which will replace this one. We can also, now that we have this dam here, we can also demolish these and this one. We could also do a loop in the water here. Since this is going to be all filled with water, it would give them a reason to get wet fur. We just put the path blocks throughout this entire area. I think we will do that once we get rid of this dam. What I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to set this to half a block, because I want to make sure that when the water refills this section and gets blocked by that block, it doesn't immediately overflow this area. Because I'm still worried that we don't have enough output of water here for when the big portion of water connects in, which it already is. It's not going to affect this area right away until this gets filled in. See, that's already almost a full block. I'm hoping it stays that way and doesn't overtop. Anything up here getting too tall? That's all reasonable height. Right here. Reasonable height. It's a little bit taller than it was before, but... oh, it is rising. The issue is if it doesn't stop rising. So it's gone up already a whole nother block. Just by the pressure of the water. I think it stopped though. Or did it? If we look at this white line here, is the water getting closer to it? It is. I think we're slowly flooding this area. That's an easily fixable issue to worry about later. Because all I have to do is break one levee and then all the water gushes out. Did we finish the levee over here? We have not yet, but we're about to finish the levee with the next one. We did finish the dam over on this end, so if I come down here, we can demolish all of this stuff. Didn't want to get rid of that. Did want to get rid of all this. We don't have these. High priority. There's important stuff over here that we need to be able to get to. There we go. We're back to being able to get everything. We can also go like this. and be able to grab all the debris that's on the ground. Unlike an Ani, you don't lose stuff by demolishing a block. Now this area doesn't seem to get any higher than that tile there. I think we actually slowed down to the point where it's not going to overflow. So I think we're okay to get rid of this. We're gonna end up stranding our beavers if I don't do this at night, like right now. So if I put, not like that. I did Ani rotate button, not this game. Is Ani's rotate button default O? I feel like I set it to being O, and now I don't like it anymore. Okay, we'll get that back to going. Back working. We reintroduced to this. We now have a reason to put paths down this area. Get way over here. I am also going to continue going this way. That's the wrong button. There we go. And they'll get around to that eventually. They don't need to do it now. They did finish the dam over here, so now the water is only coming in from this side and then flowing out this way. So there's one way in, one way out now. This is to stop bad water. This is to hold water storage. Which unfortunately is only 6 blocks wide. That might not be enough water or enough space for the water to get out. We may want to put in dams over here to make sure we can get rid of excess water. We could alternatively doing a drought or a bad tide, just lower these completely and only have dams here. We would just have to raise these during a wet season to being above the dam height so that the dams work. That would actually, I think that would be a lot better. We'll see how this goes as we go on. I am gonna raise these to 60 to see what happens. I may raise them to dam height if I can get away with it. So let's go to 70. I'm not seeing this water raise too much. If I go to 75, it does raise up quite a bit. So that's dam height right there. And let's also go this way. Should be close enough to reach everything. We don't want to get rid of that because that goes into here and none of this goes back to our colony. We now have our full floodgate, and this is automatically set at 0.65. I want this at 0.75. Same as a dam. Flood a building. What's going on down here? This shouldn't be flooding. That was weird. Maybe the water physics are still trying to figure itself out. I mean, we do have a dam down here, so that would have stopped a large amount of water leaving. Anyway, this isn't flooding yet. I do expect it to flood at some point in the future, especially if I see this actually reach the top of that plank. Is it still raising? Okay, where's the peak? That's the top of where the water animation ended. It does raise and lower as part of their animation, but we want to make sure that when it goes back up, it doesn't go past my cursor. Is it? Maybe not. Oh, here it goes. No. Maybe. I don't know. I think we're okay. I'm still going to expect this to flood this area because I think there's too much water trying to leave this area. But anyway, we are technically ready to start doing my grand master plan for in this area, which will raise the height of the water everywhere. I think our main thing should be to do this, or to go back to working towards dynamite. Steam engine is an Iron Teeth exclusive power source, which burns wood in a large engine type building. The folktales have windmills that do the same thing but aren't as efficient. It does require haulers to bring the fuel in, so if you don't have haulers, this won't be usable. So I'm trying to think of how we're going to make this whole area our power supply. I think I want to start by just adding the large windmills here. So if we rotate and just have this... I don't know why it's down a layer. Do I need it up too? Oh wow, I do. Okay, so we're going to need some type of like platform here. If I start here, it is 5 blocks long. There, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this would get blocked. So let's start with water wheels, because I think that's where everyone starts with. We'll do 2 for right now. I want this. Connect them together like that. They should be able to build everything, because they can go around to get on this side. They may need a path. So let's put a path below that platform. And then that will get us into planks, which will be moved over here. We'll also start gears. I will also start them on storing a small amount of both. So like I said, this one is planks once I can find them. Are they not? They're not in here. Get rid of the storage. I think gears are in there, but planks are not. Planks are a wood source. Gears right here. Gears is the next upgrade in things you can build with. I would assume that the next one after that, since we already have it unlocked, would be the metal stuff. So let's put one guy up here. We're going to also put ground storage right here. This is going to be for scraps. Metal is also part of that. Did not remember that being a thing. Metal blocks. The metal parts, I don't know what they're in. Are they in this? They are in this. Okay, well, we're in a dry season now. So this does count as its own liquid storage. We could just lower this completely during a dry season if I had automation set up for it. Okay, we do have one person who's looking for a place to work, so let's turn this guy on. Let's start making sure that every building has everything filled in. This. Oh, you can reach those. Let's not have you working them. You don't need to do these. People over here, on the other hand, do have to cut them down. Get rid of all this. Okay, and then this guy is still working on all of that. You are full. You are now full. This... How much power do you need? Doesn't say when it's not working. But it should if I look at this. 75, and this makes 300 each time, which would mean that one person can run that. So that's fine with the way it is. This, on the other hand, we'll max that out. We'll start turning this into prioritized by haulers, so that they have something to actually do. We'll also do this with the food. Can I do it? Ooh, I can do it with the pods. Okay, so we're getting to the point where we have all the stuff we need, maybe. Starting to do an industrial expansion. Moving dirt is going to be a thing as well. That's way down here. There is something that requires beaver bots to do, and I don't remember what it is. But it looks like a dirt excavator can be used by regular people. By the regular beavers. It has a high chance of injury. So we're gonna want the thing for injuries, which is the medical bed. Let's grab that and place down at least one preemptively. Nobody's getting hurt, so I don't think we have to worry about having that prepared. The monuments, on the other hand, we do have a laborer monument, which is just wood. We have a flame of unity, which is planks and the metal that's new. We also have the tribute to ingenuity, which is gears. I'm forgetting what they're called, but they're special planks and then metal blocks. And then our end goal, the Earth Repopulator, which needs gears, the special planks again, and the metal blocks. So it's pretty much the same thing as the tribute to ingenuity, but it's like 3 times more expensive, depending on what you're looking at. For the gears, it is a little bit more than 3 times. For the planks, it's about 20 times more, and the same with the... a little bit less than 20 times with the metal blocks. Alright, we have some of this done. Not sure why they skipped building this. Oh, we need gears for that. Well, we need at least one. So what I'm gonna do, let's come down here. We're gonna put one gear workshop right here. That should be the same amount of power. No, it's 120, which means I'm gonna need 2 people running on this. Let's get that connected in. This is never gonna be powered. Pause that. They are gonna fill these in slowly, though. It's a shame that we're not gonna get any power from that right away. We also don't need that working right away. That's probably the one building that's unstaffed. Yep. And we're getting some flooding again because of the initial water flow. It will go down. It already has gone down. Look at that. Alright, what is the next step? Next step is the gears. Making sure that we have enough people for it. We're gonna need to add 2 people to this. We're probably gonna want to do another... What happened here? We may need another pump. So if I just go ahead and tell them to... Maybe I want to use this entire area as the pumping area. I'm going to tell them to remove those. Do that. I'm going to come over here. We're going to put 2 pumps down. Do not like how they were placed. Let's press F. That seems better to me. They're not going to use it right away, so let's destroy that one water storage and place down a path. Once they build one, actually no, they'll build both and then we'll move this one. Because we have to go up to 2. Our beavers are actually dying of thirst. Can you guys work 24/7 so we can keep getting water? I'm gonna unprioritize you by ballers too. I'm actually gonna put that on a low priority so that other things get filled in first. Like this job. And this job. Alright, I'm gonna let the three of them get everyone not thirsty so that nobody dies of thirst. And then we'll start moving stuff around again. Probably don't need them working 24/7, but I do still see people that are thirsty. That should probably be good. We will, in the future, have to worry about how much we're pumping. Because we may end up pumping out the entire river here. But we should be good to get rid of this one. We then move this path. And I'm going to tell them to grow kohlrabies right here. And then build more water storage here. Why do we have people sleep? Oh, we don't have enough housing now. No, I don't need that far. I just need to here. Housing. 1, 2. Don't know if we need that many, but we're going to build them anyway. What were you waiting on? You're waiting on planks, which are being made. Just somewhat slowly. We might want all 4 people on this, actually. Yeah, we now have the gear workshop being made. Once they make a couple gears, they'll put them down here on the bottom. Actually, they made one. They just need to make one more gear, and then they could finish the other end. The ones on the top are just a log, so that won't take too long for them to do. I am going to unpause this now. Once they build that stuff, they'll be able to use this area. Then we can start getting rid of all this. Why did they place it in and they didn't build it? There we go. We now have at least 2 things being working. They are they are both working at 100% precision. Proficiency. Dupe slaying an apocalyptic word when beavers took over. No, this is actually our second dream of the story. Our first dream was Vintage Story, second dream is Timberborn. When we go back into Oxygen Not Included, we will be opening Temple Terror, and that will further our story more. We are starting to run low on berries. We're probably going to want to start getting into other berries. In the meantime, let's start telling them to tear out the stumps. Oh, we don't have to tell them to tear them out. They just get destroyed. Awesome. That makes this a lot quicker. Before, I remember them having to walk over here and you have to get the builders to get rid of the stumps. I want this whole area to be filled with berries. Naturally planted so we don't have to do the work. How are you doing today, redneck? Okay, until they get rid of the trees, we're fine. Berries spread over to stumps? I remember them last time not doing that. We'll use this stump as an example. Figure it out later on. I remember the stumps being a thing that always gets in the way and you can never move them. I don't know. They did move things, or change things, so that's probably true now. Doing good. Hope you're having I am having a wonderful day. Today is my first day of summer break. I no longer have any schools, which means I am officially, for the season, unemployed. And on good terms as well. In other words, I'm not fired. Okay, so we have planks. Gears are made from planks. So if we want extra planks, we probably want to have another gear or another plank building. Although this makes... Let me do the math on this. Uh, 3 divided by 0.63. So this plank workshop will make 4, almost a 5th plank before this makes 1 gear using 1 plank. So we are actually making... Well, we'll round down to the nearest number and say this is making 3 extra planks per gear. So I'm not actually going to build another building just yet. We might in the future. We're not going to now. What is the next thing to work towards? We don't need these. Although we can technically make them. We don't need them. We do have the stuff to build the building. But I don't think we have a reason to use the planks. You don't get contracts to drive kids for summer camps. We do. However, there are too many drivers for the amount of jobs that we have available during the summer. So we'll do an over expanded number of like 20 different buses can go out, but we have 200 people that can drive buses. So there's a lot of people that aren't able to do it. There is a seniority order, so like if I was there the longest, I would be able to pick it first. But there's so many older people that are doing it that have been there longer than me. I don't think I'm at the point where I can sign up yet. Anyway, I think the next thing we should unlock is the metal smith, because this makes scrap metal. A few of our things require this. Oh, it's a cute little thing. Look at that. Does it not need power? It doesn't need power. I'm just gonna put it over here then. Right next to the storage. We're gonna need another storage of these though. Is this the same thing? No, not that though. We need the regular box. We can go right there. This is this. Now with that, what does that unlock us? Does that unlock the building? It does give us the ability to have the building. It does require bad water. How do we want to acquire bad water? I think we want to climb up here. Maybe levee this portion and dam across here. Levee up here as well. And then put a pump in there. It'll still allow the water to drain out of here when we use this as our power aqueduct in the future. We are going to need the other platforms. 350. I think it's worth getting all 3, but we're just going to unlock the triple platform for right now. There's a drought approaching. We actually have not gotten a single bad tide yet. which is great because we planned for bad tides, so we won't have to worry about it. So my example was to do something like this. And then dam here, so this would become a reservoir. We would then need to unlock this at 250. You know what? I will leave room for expansion. If I go right here, well, even if I go to either side, we would only be able to put 2 more pumps in on this side. So let's go that right there. Can't unlock bad water pump, not enough science points. I have 250. Oh, I have 128. I was looking at this number, which is our storage number. Okay, so we need to get up to that top layer. Let's see what the cheapest way to get up here would be. So if I do 2 platforms, no, that's too high. I can do 1 there, and then single platform on top. I'm just going to do triple platforms. To that point, actually, they're going to be able to build this one, so let's cancel that until we have everything else built for our staircase. And then since I don't have the double platform, you know what? Let's wait for the double platforms. Not too long to wait for. That brings us to here. We're going to want platform, no, this. In this area, going down. It's going across. Didn't mean to put this over here, but it doesn't matter. So now we should be making scrap parts, which we are, or metal parts, I mean. It's 1 step closer. Are we starving? We are starving. Why? Why? Maybe we just need another farmhouse. I'm gonna guess that we're not picking up the food fast enough for us to eat it. Okay, so 1, being the first one, is going to be planting only. The second one is going to be harvesting. So we have 2 people that are out there taking the plants up, and then we have 2 people that are following those other 2 and replanting the crops. Both groups can do both things, but they're prioritizing doing one or the other. Over the other, I mean. This should help us get people. I do see somebody that starved to death. We have a bunch of people that died of old age, but we had 1 person that starved. Kabalau. We also have enough dupes. Or enough beavers to name after our dupes. So what I'm gonna do is let you guys sit watching this while I actually open up 2 games on the computer at once and take a picture of our dupe names from Ani. Don't know how my game's gonna, or how my computer's gonna run. Let me finish this soda. Oh, I also forgot to point out to everyone again. Today is not going to be a 2.5-hour stream. Normally we would end in about 8 minutes. We are going to be doing 4-hour streams until I go back to work. There's a mod that uses a name list and would automatically name the beavers as they spawn. It save the trouble of manually naming each and every one. It would, however, for right now, I am only going to name the first 26. No, it's first 24 beavers that we have already named dupes for. Now, I do still see that people are starving. It's actually starting to worry me. Let me switch. Is that food and water? It is both. I am worried that we're gonna need another farmhouse. Is anyone else starved? One person. Okay, so we're up to 2 people that starved. 1, Latana's 2. Hold on, I'm not counting this right. Grew up, died, grew up, born, died, starved. Died, born, starve, died, starve. Total of 4 people starved to death. I'm gonna add another one of these while I'm still waiting for oxygen not included to be ready. Okay, I just need to look at vitals. And I'm going to write down the list of names rather than try and remember everything. We have Slicky, Willow, Dupe. I think this is Max, the goodest boy. It is. So let me make sure that I type the whole name for that. We have Cloud Cover. Of course, Wubby. And Taco. Then we have an unnamed dupe named Abe. That's a doctor. We also have Amy from Earth. Jackie Be Good with the underscore. Then we have Jugal. Second dupe. Yalp. Makes sense. Dotterly. Then myself. Heinz Mod. Then we have the third dupe. Followed by the 4th dupe and Regus. Then we have Gino. Sophie. Papa Rasputin. And the 5th dupe. So we have one unnamed dupe. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2. We have 2 unnamed dupes, unless I miscounted here. And our river dried up. Oh no. Hold on. How far down do I have to drop this? Oh, I have to go even further. Let's go down to 30. Hopefully that'll be enough. I could just drop the whole thing, but I kind of want to wait for what season that's coming. I'm not seeing many starvation warnings. I'm pretty sure the last time I saw someone starve was 5/17. A couple days ago in the game. Alright, let me recount how many people we have. Oh, I do only have 23 people right here on this, because there's one person in an asteroid, which is another dupe. Do we have 6 dupes named Dupe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We do have 6 dupes named Dupe. Thought we only had 5. But anyway. Let's go through our people. We're gonna go from the top. Now, unfortunately, these are going to die. So maybe I do want to use my first mod. So we can do that name list. Redneck, if you know the name of the mod, please tell me. That would make this a little bit easier to find later on. Now, I'm going to raise this back up to being dam height. I don't know if it's top of your head, but can look it up. Thank you, Redneck, for looking it up for me. Just so I don't have to do it midstream. The searching part, I mean. Oh, we had a little bit of flooding over here. Now, we might flood a tiny bit before the dam starts working. If there's a little tiny bit of flood. This is going to happen every time, but once we raise the water level above this land portion, we won't have a flooding issue anymore. Alright, we do have enough for the double platform. So let's go into these. We actually don't want a double platform there. We do want one here. And we're gonna want them also here. And then we just put ladders going all the way up. And that will start us down here. Now, when we're doing this, they shouldn't get hit by the bad water, which will make them sick. If they get sick, they will no longer work. But they should be building from on top of the levees, which will mean that they can't get sick, because they won't be actually touching the water that is up here. So I'll put pats there until we build the pumps on top of it. This also gives us a great starting point for how to get into here and make the large aqueduct. I'm definitely going to be breaking this natural barrier and then rebuilding it with levees. And then we have the long build going across here. That's going to take ages. It's also going to take a lot of science for us to unlock the overhangs and everything. Ooh, there's a Sinistee in chat. Sinistee is a sentient tea mug. And one of the game mechanics that they made is that there are two different versions of it. There's an antique version and a regular version. I don't remember what the regular version's called. I just know it's not called the antique version. Now, it's escaped, but the only way to know if you have the antique version is to look at the bottom of the cup and hope that there's a little black dot on it. It's very difficult to shiny hunt. For those that don't know Pokemon, you can get a shiny Pokemon, which is just a different color variant of the same thing. People hunt it because it's rare. The games used to be 1 in 4,096 of encounters will be a shiny. I think numbers have either halved or got further than that, or that is the half point. I don't remember. But anyway, Sinistea being the antique version with the one dot on the bottom is very hard to shiny hunt, because on top of the antique being shiny, or being rare, the shiny version is also rare, so you have a double rare thing going on. Speaking of mug, I don't see the burger mug today. That is fair. I wait to have mugs until somebody does the roll, so I'm gonna go eat the mug now. Here we go. Now, I don't have any milk for a protein shake, so we're going to be pouring in water. If I had the protein shake still, I would be pouring that in instead. So Redneck, get ready to do cheers. Is this actually going to fill the whole entire thing? I think it is. I don't have much in this big cup anymore. I drank a lot of it yesterday. Why can't I get this off? That was weird. Okay, Redneck, cheers. This one's to you. I did miss your message. Thank you, Redneck. I do now see it. So for those who are hearing me on YouTube later on, if you're looking for the mod that allows you to make a list of names that the game will then choose from, it's called Custom Name List. How difficult would it be to add that in mid-game? Alright, we're going to take a quick break while I add this to the list, or to the game. So we're going to do a hard save. Of course, we're going to call it Shady Acres Beavers. We're going to quit to the main menu and go into our beer back scene. So let's see if it worked. When we see the next person born, they should be named. Thank you for telling me where to look, Redneck, for the how to use the mod. I should have automatically guessed to look at the mod page, and it would have instructions on how to do it. But you guys know me by now. I don't always think of it or think through stuff. Now, we are having quite a bit of a backlog in water here. I don't know if it's overflowing or not. Doesn't seem like it's going above that indent in color, or the dark color, so I think we could be fine. Either that or this is slowly overfilling over time. Yeah, I'm excited to see next beaver born. So any beaver born after 6-7, no pun intended, will be named. I'm now going to get rid of the list of names off my phone. I don't know if you guys heard that really loud noise, but something loud just went off outside my window. Oh no, people are gonna get stuck in here. Priorities. Can I have ladders on a low priority? Everything else at normal priority. So that we don't get somebody stuck. Don't get your step beaver stuck, please. We should name one of them Step Beaver. What do you guys think? Should we name something a Step Beaver? We had a couple people die of old age. Oh, we're on slow speed. I didn't even realize. Those are only planks, only planks. Are they all only planks? They are all only planks. First one that gets stuck, I should name it? Okay. And I guess after that I'll add them to the list. Does the custom name list also do the beaver bots? That's something I should have read into before I closed the website. Right, I am surprised that in the looks of this, we are getting a surprisingly large amount of stuff accomplished within the first stream. Maybe I'm just used to Auction Not Included taking me longer to play. There's no mentions about bots in it? Okay. So we're going to assume that bots do not get auto-named with this mod until we're proven wrong. Now that I made the ladders the least priority, they're doing the platforms first, which means that they won't get stuck unless they build that ladder first. Now, luckily, they can build down, just like a dupe can. But unlike a dupe, they build infinitely downwards. But they can only build one block taller than them going up. So if they're staying on this ledge, they can build right there. They can build right above it. They can't go 2 blocks higher. Or 3 blocks higher, I guess. But they can throw things off a ledge and have it all land in place. Now they should also be working on this as well. It says too far. Oh, we need to connect this in. There we go. Now they can reach that as well. I'm also glad that I built from the furthest away point, so that even if they were going to get themselves stuck, they're starting from away from the staircase. Rather than building here, then going further in and blocking themselves in. They should be working their ways out. Now they only have stairs, and then they do all the levees. How are we doing on wood? We're actually doing pretty good on all of our stuff here. Our food is not doing good, but I don't think we had anyone die of starvation. Also, Slicky is now in the game, Willow is now in the game, Cloud Cover apparently died. I don't know how cloud cover was in here. So we have two dupes in here. Oh wait, then how did this one not get named? I don't know. I don't know how the mod is choosing to name things. I thought it was just when they're born they get named, but that said grew up. So I don't know. We have some people in here now. Keep an eye on the name list in the top left corner. And you guys will see people that you recognize over time. We probably have enough to do the bad water unlock. We do, so let's put that in right there. I'm of course going to put storage for it back here. We're probably only going to need 2 little ones. Grew up is when they transition from babies to adults, so that baby probably was in before you had it. But I never named anyone. That's the thing. Like, how is Amy dying of old age if I just added her to the list? And the same thing with Jackie Be Good _ Max the Goodest Boy should also have not been named if they didn't just come from the pod. At least that's how I understood their wording on their page. I could have misunderstood how they worded it. But anyway, we're getting this ready. We can actually start pumping this now if I raise this up so that it's built first. And I think that's the last thing that we need them to do. This now be destroyed. We don't need that person there. We have this emergency wood here, but we're not going to put a lumberjack because we're also not going through all this wood yet. We will in the future. We will be using wood almost faster than we can grow it, which is going to be an issue until we have it all set up. We're going to have 3 different islands growing the largest tree, which is the oak trees. Oh, here's the mangroves that give us the flowers. Thought that sneeze before you guys heard it. We need something else for this? We do have the metal parts. We have everything for this. So we're doing things in the right order. What's the next thing? That just turns bad water into explosives. We have everything for it. We of course do not have the science for it, but we have everything that we can do to build it. Then we have to unlock the dynamite. The other dynamites require extract along with it to make it more explosive. So you could just use the same amount of stuff to make 1 dynamite and just use 3 dynamites in 1 tile to go 3 down. Or you can use 2 pieces of extract with 1 dynamite. Oh, our first bad tide. We prepared for this, chat. So in a moment, I'm going to wait until the bad tide gets to about this corridor, and then I'm going to close everything and open the other side up. Which would be right about now. Close this. Open that completely. It does flood a little bit before it figures out what it's doing. So now we want to make sure that this is flowing out where we want it. This is away from the colony. This will slowly die out because of the bad water contamination. So we'll get to see how far away we're able to build with the bad water here. Eventually we're going to make both of these water sources connect to each other, and the bad water will just send off the edge of the map. That's going to be fun to do because of how wide this is. I am actually excited for that. That's not sarcasm. And the bad tide had already ended. It was a 1 cycle bad tide. Oh, we had some bad tide come in here. That'll evaporate over a long time. I'm gonna wait until the water is completely cleaned out over here. At least visually. I'm not gonna wait for this, I don't think. that's probably good enough for us to survive. If I do that, and then we'll first raise that up to dam height. I don't want to flood this area right away. Or at all, if I can help it. So that should push all the water out this way now. Which may flood back here a tiny bit, as it figures out where the flow of the water has to go. We do flood this just like usual. Why are we taking so long to build this? We need 2 metal parts. What are we waiting on? We have the metal parts. I don't know why we're waiting to build this. Oh, I didn't put the I didn't put the construction site on the higher priority. Did the workplace by accident. That whole time I thought I did it correctly. Now, they are going to put these 2 pieces in, which is going to make the water flow over the mountain here. That should be fine. Anything that goes back here is going to evaporate before we even get to that point to using that area. This area, I don't know if I'm worried about that yet. I don't think it's going to matter. It does say that 10 workplaces are unavailable. I'm guessing that's 10 of this, the hauling post. Yeah, it's completely unstaffed. Our 3 farm places seem to be keeping up with our amount of food that we need. Now, if we do add another food source, that would make them eat less kohlrabies. Trying to get to dynamite before we do anything else, because I want to level this entire area, this entire island, and then use the island at this height to farm everything. We're gonna have to dynamite a corridor of water through this entire thing. It's not going to make usable land throughout the entire thing right away. Also, we need to put in a path right here, so they can come all the way down here. So I'm going to assume that 1 breeding pod sustains 10 people. Also, Taco died, Amy grew up. Zadi was born, so they didn't get named yet. Clockcover grew up, Jacoby Good grew up. Wubby died, Amy got born again. This is gonna be fun to watch how many times we see their names in one stream. We're back to not using a lot of berries, so that means we're definitely eating more kohlrabies. So although I'm looking at the wrong thing, I thought I was looking at food right here. This is, I don't know, miscellaneous extra stuff. Alright, here's the flooding I was expecting. Shouldn't do anything to our beavers, because we're not in the water. Did I set this at water? I did. The amount of pop 1 pod can sustain is a bit hard to pinpoint, since it will go up as well-being goes up and beavers live longer. That's what I'm saying, but at the point in our stage that we have right now, 1 pod seems to be sustaining 10 beavers with a minute amount of happiness. with their basic needs being met and 2 extras. It seems to be sustaining 10 people. There is one person that's thirsty and hungry. We also may need to do a quick restroom break. So I'm going to pause the game. We're going to go into our beer back scene again. And I'm going to go to the restroom. Also close all my windows because it is getting a little bit too hot in here. I'll see you guys in a little bit. And we're back. Sort of. I put my headphones back in, and then we're good to go. Anyway, we are getting a little bit low on this. What should be the next thing that we work towards? Why am I not seeing books? Isn't that a thing for books? I also think I want to start doing some farms up here. I think we might turn these stumps into a farm plot. What's the next? Excuse me. What's the next thing that we can do? Cassava. How does a beaver eat cassavas? I pause and look at one beaver. Cassavas are fermented. I think books is... no, that does make sense. Books are foxtails only. It allows them to get knowledge faster, I think. That would make sense. I mean, all the food is different. There's not a single food that is combined between them, except for the blueberries. That, I guess, is the only thing. I don't think there's another free food other than mangrove fruits, but we were required to grow the trees, wait for them to fully gestate, I guess is the word. 10 days for it to grow, and then another 10 days for it to bear fruit. We will do that eventually. I guess let's get a fermentation thing set up. Oil press, we don't really need to do oils yet. Oils are for rations. We're going through the fermentation area first. What you doing, little boy? You being nosy? A sticky butt? The kitten's up here. Speaking of which, the kitten, as of today, is now 8 months old. Or not 8 months, 10 months old. August 9th, no, August 10th. Or was I right the first time? I think it's August 9th. Yes. August 9th is when Paintbrush was born in my shed during 90-degree weather. Which reminds me, at some point I'm gonna have to put in a second air conditioner for up here. Anyway, we were doing fermentation, which is somewhere. That's the rations. Is it this? Oh, it's pre-unlocked. Look at that. Oh, and if we do the oil, we can also do the second type of fermentation thing here. Does require power. How do I want to do this? Can I do power from the side? If I look at this. It does look like I can do it from the side. I don't have to do it from the back or the front. So we could just line up 3 fermenters right here. Each will do one thing only. And they will be powered from here. So we need vertical power shaft. At least 1 right there. We're gonna need 2 on this side. And we just connect them together. Luckily, they're on the same side of the river. You know what? Let's do one thing for future-proofing. We are gonna put a platform through here. Now the power is going to look a little weird because I don't really care too much for it being a flat line. But this is so that they can walk underneath, because we're not going to cut off the only access down there. So let's go to here and then connect in. So they should be able to get to all of that. Let's add a path down here just to make sure that they can. And then, what was the first thing? Cassavas. We need to just start planting cassavas. Cassava, this whole entire area, which will never get bad water if we have anything to do about it. I'm also going to add the farms over here as well. I don't know how many we're going to need, so I'm just going to put 3, and we will pause them if we don't need them. What are they currently building? Oh, this stuff. That makes sense. Actually gonna put them on a higher priority as well as... Well, I went too far. All of them. I want that all started so that we can be growing the things while they're building the power network for the stuff that we can't use yet. So they'll still build this before the container, which only needs 1 log. This stuff still needs a bunch. We're not waiting on logs. It's not like we're out of wood right now. We are done making planks, gears, and the metal stuff. Maybe there's something else we can unlock. Maybe we want more science people? I could put in the large science building back here. It does take 1,500 science to unlock it, but then afterwards we don't need dupe-powered stuff. I would put a row of people here. Just doing science. I want that done first. We have a bunch of people growing up and dying. I apparently just died of old age, along with Jugal. Regis just grew up. Dotterly also died with us, but 2 days beforehand. Regis died and then grew up the next day. I am thinking that their growing up is leaving the breeding pod. I think that counts as the first stage. If we watch this go to 0... No, it definitely does say born. Another person was born. I don't know, chat. What I do know is we have stairs now. Which means that I can put a rooftop terrace over here. Which is well-being. That's another thing to make them happier. They're almost done messing with stuff over here. And this is slowly overfilling this area. I'm surprised that it hasn't toppled over yet. There's a Dotler in chat, not to be confused with Dotter Lee. The majority of this is going to the right spot. Okay, there should be one person coming over with 2 pieces of log. Yep, there we go. So this is back to running the way it should be running. We just have a backlog of bad water here for us to use. This will slowly evaporate over time. So that means they should be working on the 3 farms over here, which they are. I definitely want one of these on. Once we get those plants up and running and we can actually use them, we should split the amount of food taken from this one with this. I don't think they choose one over the other, but I think they do choose taking one of each rather than only eating one thing before they start eating the next. The next thing I'm going to start high prioritizing is this. I guess I have to do them individually. That's fine. We are at about 24 unused workplaces. I'm going to tell them to get rid of those 2 things. And instead we're going to put 2 more pods, or at least 1 more. We are struggling a little bit to fill this 3rd water storage. Don't know if we need a 3rd pump yet. There's also another bad tide coming. We might want to go into automation so that I don't have to look at the floodgates. First thing I would want is... I forget what it's called. The weather station. Oh, that is the thing that I need. It's 300. I can do that, but then I need... Since you manually controlled... Since a manually controlled signal, a great first step towards armor. Do I want the relay or do I want the lever? I'm not sure. I think I want the relay. We definitely want this unlocked so I can have it somewhere. And we'll put it right there. Doesn't matter where that is. Now we will unlock the relay when we have the science for it in a few seconds. And we'll put that relay right there. Because I think this... That's not what I want. I unlocked the wrong thing here. I think we do want the lever. No, we do not. I used the wrong thing again. Ah, I see what I want now. I think I want a second one of these. Okay, and then if I look at this, you can automate it to one or the other. Okay. I kind of get it now. That's gonna be drought. This is gonna be bad tide. I think we also might want to relay so that we can do an ore gate in here for contamination as well. Contamination sensor, that's 400 science. And then we'd want a relay. Alright, we want both these built. Oh, they need treated planks. Okay, that's one reason to have them then. We're about to be in what I'm gonna guess is a 4-day... Oh, only 2 days. So this, we need to get ready to lower it completely. Let's do it now, actually. That should stop water from leaving this way. It's apparently not, so let's raise that up then. We already had it going that way. So it shouldn't overflow. Doesn't seem like it is. Alright, this just needs one more, maybe 2 more things built, and they can't reach the second thing. Also can't build that. So do I put in a top of the shack? Why are there trees here? I tell them to cut down those trees. We need to put the tapper shack there. That's how done. We wait for this to not be bad water. And then we close this area off. This I don't think needs to be closed. Actually, it is closed. Okay, so our automation's gonna have to be a little bit complicated over here. Just waiting a little bit longer until this is more clear. I know we're still draining this out. That should be okay. Let's bring this down to 75. I'm going to first let water drain out this way, and then I'm going to close this off. Let's go up to 50. Shouldn't really stop it from going out, which it's not. That should help it distinguish going both directions. We're not overflowing yet. Now we are. So now all of these are dead. Which is fine, I suppose. We are working towards the tapper shack. It does look like we will slowly be able to cut all those trees back. But I'm thinking of telling them not to cut any trees until they get those 4 done. Just so I can get them done quicker. So that we can put the tapper shack in. We also can't place these 2 trees in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little over the top. We're going to put a forester right here so that we can reach those 2. Then we're going to need 800 signs to unlock this. Along with 50 signs to get the sap thing unlocked. Okay. That's not what I want to do. Hold on. Don't build up. Now you can build it. And you guys can go back to cutting everything here. Still waiting on power. Did I never put the power line here? I never put in the power line there. I told him to build everything, but not the way to connect into the building. That sounds like me. Now, since we are growing cassavas now, right? We are. I want this to also be high priority. They took away the stuff from over here, so let's put in another pod at least. Unconnected building. Right, because this does not have a path leading to the staircase. There we go. Well, not everyone's going to get a chance on the campfire. I also need Einsmod to come over here and plant these 2 trees. And then Einsmod is going to become jobless again. Build it, come over here and build that. I also don't think I want the large storage in yet. So we'll just do this. Sap. 2 paths there. Because this is going to be moved. We're not going to have any trees on this island after a little bit. Next thing is this. 800 does take another plank per 3 hours, just like the gear workshop. So if we're doing about 3 with this one, we should be okay for 1 more building taking planks from us. The thing I'm more hesitant about is if we're going to be able to survive off of these 2 pumps. Is there a better pump? No. Maybe I want more storage. Maybe that would be helpful. I'll get them to delete all of them. We'll put more storages in. Dupe 1 both died and grew up. I think we definitely do need the water storage. Now, the combined storage here may be the same as one of the later unlocked amounts. If we look at these, they hold more. This holds 300, this holds 1200. Each one of these holds 30, so if I had 10 of these, it would be the same as a medium tank. Right now I have 7. The circle of life is quite fast. Only for beavers. So I think we are able to pump enough. We just weren't having enough storage, so when they all came and drank at the end of the day, they were emptying out our small amount of backlog. But we were able to refill it the next morning. And if you keep an eye on the bar on the top of the screen, we'll be able to see how full we are over our entire storage. This doesn't need anyone, this doesn't need anyone. We're not making either of those. Somebody's getting fixed? Yeah. I think we are doing fine on food because we now have 2 options. I don't think they eat the berries after they get other types of food. I haven't tested that to see if they still continue to eat it or not. We're only at 400 science, so I am kind of waiting to see what we need to unlock next. I did want to get through dynamite, which actually is a little bit cheaper than doing the automation. Because we can unlock the explosive factory and start making the dynamite now. Then we come back, unlock the dynamite, start doing our conversion stuff as we unlock more buildings. Let's do it that way. So let's get this. The explosive factory in. It needs power, so it has to go here. This is going to be making explosives, not fireworks. We should have everything to build this. We just may need to make more. Papa disputes and died of old age. That's what we like to see. Died of age, not of anything else. And they came over here but did not finish all of it because the path does not reach. Now it does. So this whole water area is now all one storage. From here all the way around and into here. One big lake, I guess. I wouldn't really call it an ocean. If anything, this would be an ocean. Well, that would be more of a lake. Surrounded by land. I don't know, John. What I do now is I think we just start working on our aqueduct. That'll get rid of a little bit more bad water. This will take a while. How do we even close that off? Don't remember. It's science? We found it earlier. Oh, it's right here. 4,000 science just to close that off. When open, bad water flows even during droughts. I want one of these on here so that this never stops flowing. I didn't realize that these keep it flowing during droughts. That's the main thing that causes power drop on this aqueduct idea, is that when it's a drought, it no longer has stuff flowing through it. Okay, we're just waiting on metal parts, which is fine. Einsmod is in there. Einsmod is just all over the place. We are getting close to needing more housing, so let's just preemptively build it in. We'll try to keep an extra 10 rooms at all times. Is that a drought or a bad tide? I wasn't paying attention. Drought, okay. So we will see that this bad water stops flowing. Welcome in, Slig. Slig, thank you for the Prime subscription. You are now on a 2-month streak. Congratulations. That looks awesome. What looks awesome? We've only just begun. And we have big ideas. Also, Slig, thank you for letting us reach a goal of 10 new subscriptions. I've been looking at that bar, stuck at 9 subscriptions for about a month at this point. Although I don't try to sell out subscriptions or anything, I do appreciate everyone who has. You should also be considered a founder now. I do go through the founders list occasionally, and you know, like people that became a founder a year ago and they're no longer on the channel anymore, I take them off. But I think you're a founder. You are, according to your icon, you are. I've never seen this game, only heard about it from people begging Willow to play it. I do. It's not one of my favorite games, but it is... In terms of genres that I would label this as, it's a city builder, but I also consider it a slight factory game. And my term for factory, or definition for factory game, is kind of loose. Pretty much, if you use something to make another item, and then you can repeat it even more than that, I would consider that a factory. So, of course, this being beavers, everything's wood related. We have beavers that cut down wood. We turn the wood into planks at this building. We can then turn those planks into gears. Or we could turn them into other things like explosives and treated planks. That I consider being a factory. It could be like an industrialized colony builder, I guess you would be able to consider it as well. Pretty much this brings together two of my favorite genres in games. I like a lot of city builders. I like a lot of niche factory games. I don't play every factory game. Never played Satisfactory or Factorio. But I do like Dyson Sphere Program a lot. It's actually my favorite game. And I have played this since I think it first came out. Don't remember what the first update was, but I remember it being honestly harder to play. In more of a bad way. Like, obviously games, when they progress and they get updated, a lot of things do easier. I've heard a lot of people complain about things getting too easy. This actually got easier in, like, they're helping us out type of way. When paths were costing wood, it sure was rough. Yeah. That was horrible. I did enjoy the fact that we needed different districts to go different lengths. If you take a look at the paths, they change color when I have the district open. And the more red it gets, it means it's just further away from the district. There was a point in time where the path would just stop drawing the line and you would have to put another district just so that people could walk through that. I do like that. You can still technically do that type of situation, but it's not required. We're not going to do it for this. What is unstaffed? Badwater is unstaffed, that's fine. That's not being used, that's not being used. Not used, not used. Not needed, but can be used. Also not needed. Kind of needed, not anymore really. And then we're back to Badwater. Okay. So these two should be always high priority. This needs to be, these don't. Once we hit the sweet spot where we have beavers and we don't have to worry about how many beavers we have, things are going to go by a lot quicker and I'm going to be building a lot faster. Like, I really want to get into the power and unlock this engine, but at the same time we need haulers for it. And we don't always have beavers to supply the haulers. I might as well pause this, actually. We're not growing any of those stuff. The other things are fine to reintroduce beavers, but that, I don't know. This just needs to be looked at. And then power. And I'll let that be filled in over time. Are we getting a little... I may want a flow gate down here just to lower this. What would be the best way to automate this? I guess sluices, because sluices can already detect a height. If I put sluices down here on the ridge, or even if I move the ridge back to here, we could have the sluices just sense anytime this is below half a block, we'll say. It'll add more water. I think that's the plan for the future. It'll have to be during a wet season so that I'm not wasting water going through here. So this is metal. No, they're in landscaping. Right here. That says fill valve though. Do we not have sluices? Or is the fill valve now the new name for sluices? One-way water outlet with adjustable flow rate. One-way regulates the downstream water level. So we definitely want the fill valve. I think they just renamed it, or it's the Iron Teeth renaming it. We're probably never going to use the other floodgates, so I don't think we have a reason to have them. We're not really going to be playing with water, because we're going to be raising the water level. This whole land is going to be flooded up to here. This river is going to be 2 blocks deep. We probably aren't going to need to demolish any barriers after a while. And in the previous game... Oh, we do still have it here. That's a bad water source we want to close off eventually. There are 3 outlets for water to go out of this map right here. On the south side, we have the east side 1, or we'll say that's southeast, and then we have northeast. Those are the 3 points. And all the bad water in here just disappeared. Which should mean the contamination is going to disappear as well. Is it delayed? Oh, it is. Look at that. I don't know what to work on right this moment. We don't have this side ready yet. I think we were just exclusively waiting for dynamite, which we do now have. We also need to open this. I'm trying to pause to find the right height. There we go. Is that going to let out too much? $45 is where it stops. Let's go down to 40 and let it just drain whatever it has. That apparently was the entire thing. Probably can't survive on that. Let's go down to 35. Okay, or 35 is not enough anymore. Maybe we have to go down a full 1/10 of a meter before it actually updates the water. .5 might not be enough for it to adjust for. What if I were to just lower this? What happens here? Looks like water is leaving. Good to know. We're gonna put this back up. We should be fine down here, because we're gonna have wet season in a little bit. Alright, for this, we need 800. Metal? We probably don't need these yet. We will need it for the aqueduct. But once we have power again, we'll be able to make dynamite. And I think I want to raise these up one. They're a little bit more important than the other stuff. While we do that, we will unlock the thing that we need this for. Then we'll start doing the aqueduct system. Are we overflowing with water yet? No, but we're getting close. I'm gonna let this overtop and fill this area up, and then I'm gonna close it off a little bit more. So right about there. We are gonna want the dirt thing. It's 2,000 science. 3 all together, because we also need to unlock the ability to add the dirt. Requires a large amount of power. Dynamite. What do you get stored in? Dynamite gets stored in the regular storages. Put you right in front of your door. Alright. I'm going to be dynamiting everything down to the layer that these trees are on, which means I need to get rid of trees that are not on the right height. I also need to get rid of everything up here. So that's our first step. We can now add paths underneath dynamite. We couldn't do that before. You would have to remove the path, then add the dynamite, and work your way out of the area. So this will be our first section. And this has to go down 3. This has to go down 4, 3, 3, 2. We do need lumberjack flags. Dynamite on path is such a nice way to help people explode beavers. It is. I didn't think of that until just now. These should all be pine trees, so it shouldn't take too long to dig all of them out. Or cut them all down, I mean. You don't really dig trees. Luckily, they're all dead, so they're not going to keep expanding. going to pause at least one of these so that we're using these more than down here. We do still have a backup wood in case we need it. I'm starting to think that we may need to open up this next farmhouse. It does say only 5 buildings are understaffed. Still says 5 buildings are understaffed. We have 800 science. Wasn't that important for something? Is this? Yes, it is. We'll grab that. We'll throw that in on here. And now we are getting pretty close to needing more power, I think. So the supply right now at full throttle in this river is, we'll round that to 1200. We currently need rounded 400. And this is an additional 2.5, 250. So we're close to using half or 1 water wheel, including this being on. Altogether, I don't think that's too bad. The only thing that may be an issue for us is how slow that this gets done. It is 1 dynamite per 3 hours. If we want to do a dynamite per hour, we would need 2 more buildings. And I think we might do that just so we can get rid of stuff a lot quicker. We're not going to be dynamiting every single island, but we are going to be doing quite a bit. Everything's going to be flattened to the height of this river, which is the height of this land here. So this is going to be flattened. That's 1 island. Second island here is going to be our housing development. Another tree area, our farm area here. Another tree area on this island, and then this is our industrial island. So we are going to need dynamite quite frequently. We don't necessarily need it like every second, but I think we should put 2 more of these in. Now this, treated planks. They go in this storage, I think. With the planks, they do. And I don't need this running at all. We could put them on a slightly raised priority, but not like high priority. And this guy is saying that they're not able to get all required goods, which probably means that this is not being used. So let's put Carter Bod in there. Ratogad? I think? I don't know. I am actually pretty happy with how far we got in our first 4 hours of the game. I'm sure there's ways to do things faster, but for my first time doing Iron Teeth in a long time, and also having the newest update of the game, this is, I think, as efficient as I can do it right now. I'm pretty happy with this. Of course, things, if we just do like a massive increase of beavers, things will go a lot faster. Should we go through well-being and just unlock everything as we can and just start using it all? We look at well-being. What thing is needed the most? So far, everyone's using campfires. Everyone's using the rooftop terraces. We probably don't need more of them. Wet fur is an issue that we're having, so we could probably use the showers. As far as I know, they don't need power. They just need to be near a water source. And this just gives them wet fur instead of them having to go in the water. They'll use that randomly. Of course, there's the nutrition stuff. It'll take a while. Could start doing soybeans. We do have room right here. Now that we have a second farmhouse, we are grabbing more cassavas. Let's look at soybeans. We could start planting them in here. I'm gonna pause because I want to make sure that this is focused on cassava. And then we'll add another farmhouse here. So this is gonna be harvest. Oh, this is harvest. Soybean. Soybean. We don't have storages for the cassavas. And I'm going to keep using small warehouses until we have this island ready for everything. Cassava, this is soybean. Over here is the kohlrabies, right? Yes, so one of these should be kohlrabi. This one is, that's good. Then we have fermented cassavas, and soybeans require a canola oil. So we want... Down here is where all of the processed food goes. We want that, and fermented soybeans. We also need to look at what makes the oil, which is the oil press for 120 science. It does require power, and it's quite a big item. I think I am going to place it here and somehow get power to it. So I want to rip up the power here to have it all one platform high. I think I will, because it'll make it more of efficient. And we can actually do this pretty easily without destroying the current power network, I think. So I can put platforms on top of power already. The only issue we're going to have is when we destroy this to put a platform and then putting the power back on top. So we'll do that for now. Of course, this is all going to disappear in the future. Oh, and we don't actually have to get rid of the power network. We just have to build a new one. Okay. Unlike in Vintage Story, each power shaft does not take power. Also, there was a neat arena in chat. That's a Gen 1 Pokemon. I think that's the first one I've heard today. Both me and Gino don't have one, so this must be the first time that we've had it on the channel. There we go. Gino, don't forget to throw a ball. You do not have it. Here you go. I didn't want you to lose your chance on getting it. Alright, we're looking at food. We have the oil press we put over here. Now this just makes oil. I can't tell what it makes the oil out of. It says a plant, so let's look at the plants. I'm gonna guess it's canola. That makes sense. We're gonna have to start growing over here, I think, or we can grow it right here. And then ship it all the way over there. We are already shipping all that over here. Let's do that. A little bit of canola there. We will put, I think, only one farm building there. Do this a little bit. Canola. Alright, this person is out of wood. This person is not out of wood, but they are out of things cut down. Let's turn this back on. We did get a new well-being high score. I'm going to assume that that's because of wet fur. Because they shouldn't be eating anything else. Nothing down here was done. We are going to start doing aesthetics too. Once we start doing the houses in our new area, I will have a house being touched by everything that gives well-being in the decorations tab. So every house will have a roof. Every person leaving the living area will pass a statue, or will have a statue near them. I'm pretty sure all the statues or monuments are all 2x2s, right? That definitely is. That is. That's a 3x3. It is also the replacement for the Foxtails one, which is a fountain. Okay, so that's going to be our fountain in the center of the living area. It's not actually going to have water, unless I can put it in water and it doesn't get flooded. What are we building that is taking forever to do? Or are we out of builders? No, we're not out of builders. We're not out of wood. We're out of planks. Okay. That doesn't use planks. That does. That does, but we're not using it. We do have somebody giving it pine resin, though. Because we have a person in here. Raise that to be a higher priority. Actually, that's explosives. That's not what I wanted to do. Willow's in here now. Now this is getting done, but it's still being slow, so I don't know what's prioritized more there. They are starting to get the power network in here. They shouldn't get stuck doing this, because they'll be able to do it from underneath. I don't think they'll prioritize being on it. Now there's just these metal parts, which is being made. We have 5 buildings unstaffed. Unfortunately, neither me or Gino caught the Nidorino. I want to detonate this, but if I do, it's going to block the entrance that they have to get up here. I think we may want yet another breeding pod, which is what I prepared a space for. Oh, I have these prioritized by haulers. Let's not do that. Just in case them not getting haulers is preventing them from growing. Yeah, that just needs metal parts. This is getting it first. Let's turn this on higher priority. All the metal parts go to them. We do have one thing open. This one is drought. So let's see how we use this. Okay, so during a drought, right now it is off. Yes. When off, we want this height. When on, no height. And if this would get activated, we'd be able to automate this. Actually, no, we want this to be on temperate weather. And then when it is on, we want it to be 75. When it is off, we'll do 100%. Because it's about to switch. We'll do one automation thing at a time. So right now we're only going to automate the bad tide. I guess I could have them both on the same thing, right? They could both be on... Yeah, I'm gonna set them up to be both on bad side for right now. So when on, we want... Oh, it's not working right now. That's okay. We actually want these flipped, but I'm gonna leave them the way they are. Until we have our things built in. We need treated planks for that. Willow is making treated planks. How do I know how low this is without seeing it? Okay. We are using a large amount of water. We are past our 4-hour mark. We do unfortunately need to wait for the bad tide to finish so that we can get power again. Why does it look like we're gonna drain this out? Because we are. If I could put these two way up here, we would never run out of power for right now. I'm gonna put them in now. And see what happens. So we would need to go up another layer. Just to be able to put the power line in. We then want to be able to connect them all together. Actually, that's not going to be where it goes. No staircase there, please. Let's figure out these for a second here. 1, 2. They get connected. We need a way to walk across this, so actually we're just going to put that in. Actually, we can't go across that. Okay. So then we will go this way. Then we need power to get all the way down here. The hardest part of this would be just doing this shaft, which can be reached from up here. They probably can't get that without putting in a staircase. Don't know how I want to do this, actually. I guess a single platform with 2 stairs facing away so they don't mess up. I know they can build this from right here, but just in case they do this stuff first. And then over here, we just need to get this connected across the river, which is this layer height. Oh, I knew that didn't seem right. But then that... No, I had it right the first time. Don't need that. Don't need this. Then this goes straight across, but we need... Pass there, pass there. We're gonna need even more. So that we can walk across this. That'll be already built, so we just need to be able to grab this one here, which needs a single staircase going up. This is complicated, but once we have it running correctly, we will make it less complicated. I think I might want to keep it that height just so we can go over the path here. This, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to come back here and go in so that we can still expand this side. So as we add in the next building, it all may automatically be connected in. Alright. That's a good starting point. That'll give us power during a drought, during a bad tide, but not a drought. Oh, something that's not going to work correctly is the contamination. That's going to close immediately when the drought turns off. Let's not do this yet. I want an AND gate between the two of these. I want this here. Metal blocks! That's the first time we need that. I'll have to add that into the list. Oh, we have all the water going out, by the way. Alright, we now have power again. This is all getting flushed out slowly. This is now connected, just not built yet. Because it needs the metal parts from up here. Which Mr. Taco is making. What are they worried about? Oh, they just need more... nautical beds. Because they got boo-boos. These are almost done. I think maybe one more day. Dynamite is going in slowly, being 1 dynamite an hour. Not even 1 an hour. 1 every 3 hours. We're still getting the metal parts and stuff for all this. I think Redneck was right about the berries overriding the stumps, because I remember there being more stumps over here. Alright, I think this is a good resting point where we can take a screenshot, save the game, and get out of here. Or come back again in 2 days. So, let's save the game. Of course, it's going to be Shady Acres, beavers. And just like that, my earbud died. We're going to quit to ducks. No, we're not going to quit. We're going to take a screenshot during the night, or during the day. And then we'll go out. There we go. Now, normally I would hide the UI, but since this is the first time we played, I want the icons that we've collected over this stream on here. Alright, now we're going to quit the desktop and go into our raid-out scene. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream on Twitch on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 AM EST to 12:30 PM EST, and on Sundays from 10 AM EST to 2 PM EST.